Shalom Uvracha, Morai V'Rabotai, Shalom Uvracha, Be'ezrat Hashem, the merit of Tzaddik Rabbi Chaim Pinto, the merit of all the Tzaddikim, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Be'ezrat Hashem, give everyone Bracha V'Tzlacha, Siyata D'Shmaya Gedola, Malka Dam, V'Chatav Zekata, and we will come to a place of having all our prayers heard, and all Be'ezrat Hashem, our heart's desire brought to fruition. Amen. Kenyatzu Be'ezrat Hashem. You know, but every Tuesday, we try to talk a little bit and to bring some energy and motivation for Am Yisrael with this idea of understanding the potential that exists within our hands on Tuesday. We've explained throughout the past few years that Tuesday is a day of Am Yisrael, it's a day of Torah, it's a day that represents Yaakov, it represents Tiferet, it represents the ability of Bnei Israel by attaching to Torah, mitzvot, spirituality, positivity, mitzvot, enable themselves to bring into their world a big change. So every Tuesday we really try to focus on this idea, on awakening motivation for attaching ourselves to positivity, and as a result of attaching ourselves to positivity, we can result in changing our life in a more positive manner of success, of health, of panasa, of simcha, of zibu, of all what could be. So we see something very beautiful in this week's parasha that can maybe act as a true understanding of what's the power of even one day of action that we take upon ourselves. Chazal say that Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Hashem in this week's parasha sent the spies to go travel around Eretz Israel and to bring back information on what occurs in Eretz Israel. The Torah says that their journey lasted 40 days, and when they returned, they spoke bad about Am Yisrael, they spoke bad about the land that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised them and their ancestors. They took those 40 days of travel and they brought a wrong deed with those 40 days. The Torah says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, for each day that they were on this journey, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would punish Bnei Israel with an entire year of being in the desert. Whereas we know, the travel between Egypt and Eretz Israel was supposed to be 3 months, Chazal say, and as a result of the sin of the Meraglim, of the spies, it lasted 40 years. Why 40 years and not 20 or not 30? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, for every day that the spies sinned in Eretz Israel on their journey, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them 1 year of punishment, 1 year of the desert. Chazal ask in many different places of where is the accounting, where is the fairness in the punishment that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Bnei Israel. We know that they sinned for 40 days. So why for 40 days of sin HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives 40 years of punishment? It would make sense that for every day of punishment you should give 1 day of sin, or maybe 1 month of sin, or whatever it is. But it doesn't seem fair on any level of account that HaKadosh Baruch Hu would take every day that the spies did wrong or perceived wrong or bad came out of those days of their work or their effort that they put in, an entire year of punishment. It doesn't make sense on any level of fairness, any level of accountability. Why should 1 day result in 1 year of punishment? And the answer that Chazal bring is an idea that really can give us big motivation and also a big understanding of the consequences of our actions. Chazal say from here we learn the power and the ability of 1 day that a person lives throughout his life. Chazal say, a person who sinned 1 entire day, ma'aleh alav hakatuv, it's considered that not that he sinned that entire day, but rather he sinned the entire year. And we see that where? Within the sin of the spies. For each day that they sinned, HaKadosh Baruch Hu considered that they sinned for an entire year. And if they sinned for an entire year, then the punishment needed to be equal in order to wash off, in order to cancel, to nullify the damage that they caused by that sin. Chazal teach us that within every single day, a person has the potential to change a year, to change the entire year. That is in a negative term. But we can only imagine what could be from a positive perspective of how much a person can change and how much a person can come to a place of changing his entire year, changing his entire life with just a single day of understanding the power of the day and taking advantage and being busy with good deeds that exist throughout that specific day. There's so many stories in the Gemara that really teach us this idea of even 1 day of mitzvah, 1 day of positive actions, 1 day of positive oneself, leading of himself, one day of positive change can change a person's not only entire year, but his entire life. We know the story of Dordia, Rabbi Natan Risha de Galuta, and so many people that with one day of their actions were completely changed their state, their position, and no longer seen as Reshaim, but rather as great tzaddikim. So from here we understand, Rabotai, that with a single day of inspiration to grow and to come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to better ourselves, we can truly change our entire year. We have the power every single day to awaken within ourselves change that will last for a period of time that our minds can't even comprehend. And that's Rabotai should really awaken within ourselves, the understanding that today, if we decide to change our life, if we decide to change our year, if we decide to change our mazat, if we decide to change our state of life, if we decide to change whatever we want, within just today, we have the potential, we have the koach. And there's a more technical explanation to that. There's a more technical understanding. There's a beautiful teaching in the Pardes Rimonim, which is one of the deepest books of Kabbalah and really structure of our world. In Shar HaSharim, it really comes to an understanding of this. The Ramak says that we know that every single creation has a source, has a parent. And that parent is essentially what brought that creation to fruition. The Ramak says that Yamim Veshanim, days and years, and every single aspect of their existence and their creation, they are born from what? They are born from the exact same place, which is what? The Binah. Where within the Binah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created days and years, months, hours, all that, they were created in different places. But the idea is that if a person can come and fix days or fix one day of his life, he's not just fixing the day, he's fixing the root from where the day comes from. And the root from where the days come from, also the years come from. So in one day, a person can change years. A person can better years. A person can change his life in manners that he can only imagine. Today, Rabotai, is Tuesday. It is a day of natural positivity. It is a day of natural change. It is a day of bringing within our life blessing that we cannot bring throughout any other day of the week. Let's Bezat Hashem, Rabotai, take upon ourselves a little bit positivity here, a little bit positivity there. Another hour of Torah, another mitzvah that we can possibly do. And if we do so, we will be able to bring that change within our life, not only with our own power of being Bnei Adam, but with the help of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and with the help that the Tiferet and the hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu offers us today. So B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us big bracha v'tzlacha, and may we achieve to change many, many years to come today. Amen. Kin Yatzon.